Welcome back to the Gemara in Gittin, Daf Mem Amud Aleph. Hahu Avda de Beitrei. There was an Eved, there was a slave who belonged to two masters. Kam Chad Minahu, V'Shicharei Lepalge. One of them got up and freed half of him, freed half the slave. So we can say that this is a story, or maybe that this presents a statement. I'll start it off. I'll say that this is a color for a story, the beginning of a story. Amar Irach, the other one, the other master who still had half ownership, said, Hashda Shami Be'Rabanan, umifsedule minai. Now the rabbis are going to hear, the Beit Din is going to hear, and they will take him from me. I'll lose him because of them. I'll lose the ownership of the slave because of them. Azal Akanya Livno Katan. He went and he transferred the slave to his young son, to his son who was a minor. This creates the problem, creates the difficulty. It's also the continuation of the story, but this is where the problem gets created. We know that what he's supposed to do now is free the slave, but he doesn't want to, and he doesn't want the rabbis to force him to do that. So he transfers ownership to his young son. And Rashi tells you, Livno Katan, it's not appropriate for the Beit Din to force him to do something. The Beit Din won't do that, and so the slave will continue to be owned, if not by the man himself, then by his son, probably functionally the same thing since his son is a minor. Shachar Rav Yosef Berei de Rava, Lakame de Rav Papa. Rav Yosef Berei de Rava sends this question, sends the case before Rav Papa. We said in class, I think that this is the question. He's asking him, what should be done here? Maybe I should have this as a different color, so you'll know that this is a problem, and this is the actual question. Shalach le, ka'asher asa ken ya'aseh lo. So Rav Papa says back, ka'asher asa ken ya'aseh lo, which is a quote from Sefer Vayikra, gmulo yashiv lo barosho. You should give back to him what he put out into the world, essentially, which is a quote from Ovadia. He's basically putting these two quotes together to say, let's get this guy back. Let's outwit him the way he tried to outwit the system. Anan kimon bianuka de mekarva date legabe zuze. We're certain about a child that he likes money. Children like money. Mukminan le apotropos will appoint a representative for the child, a Beit Din representative for the child, and will jingle some coins. Rashi points out it's the slave, Mekarkeshle Avda. We're going to have the slave jingle some coins. And the child is going to want those coins, and so since he wants the coins, he'll write a get shichur, he'll write a document of freedom. He'll free the slave right then and there. So it's a way to outwit. This is, I know we broke it up differently a little bit in class, but this is all, I would say, the solution. This is what we're going to do to trick the child, the minor son, into freeing the slave, because that's really what's supposed to happen for all the reasons we've learned about before. If you look at the Rashi on Zuzeh, he says, Davar mu'at le'anuka. Zuzeh, right, a few coins, just something small for a child. V'lo yitzarchu Beit Din lechofo, and then the Beit Din won't have to force him, shehu yishacharuhu mida'ato, because he'll free him of his own volition, he'll free the slave of his own volition, bishvil Zuzeh, in order to get the money. Ubelav kirkushe Zuzeh lo efshar. But without jingling those coins, it's impossible. Dianuka lav bar kfiyahu, because a child is not eligible for forcing. You can't force the child to do something in Beit Din. Ve'apotropsin ein risha'in lahotzi avadim l'chirut v'lo lachov yatomim. Because and an apotropos isn't allowed to free a slave or to create debts for yatomim. So this is, again, two pieces of outside knowledge that make this a really impossible situation that the second master has set up. One is that children aren't allowed to be forced to do things in Beit Din, and an apotropos isn't allowed to free the slave. So it's not enough to just appoint an apotropos for him. You have to appoint the apotropos, but then trick the kid into freeing the slave. Kidamrina bahanizakin, a quote from later in the Gemara in Gittin. I brought actually both of these quotes for you. But I'll show you the first one first. An apotropos can sell a slave, and he can be in Beit Din, but an apotropos can't actually free a slave. His legal representation doesn't extend to that power. Okay, period. V'tinok zeh mekro mekach umemkaro memkar b'metaltalin. And this child, this minor, his sale is a good sale and his buying is a good buying. In other words, there are certain powers that even a minor does have. He can't be forced to do things in Beit Din, but he can make a real sale. He can buy and sell property legally. Kiditznan, as we learn in the Mishnah later on, again in Masechet Nezikin, and in Masechet Gittin, ha'pu'utot mekran mekach umemkaran memkar b'metaltalin. So that's this Mishnah. Cheresh Romez v'nirmaz uben b'tero mer kofetz v'nikfatz b'metaltalin ha'pu'utot mekran mekach umemkaran memkar b'metaltalin. Again, even a very young child, infants, if they make a sale or if they buy something, that works when it comes to metaltalin, when it comes to movable property. And so Rashi's just giving you these pieces of background information that you wouldn't have otherwise. The apotropos and the apotropos is basically there to be the one to set the value for the slave. He can look into things and find out the market price for the slave, and that's what he's going to write in the document. When he frees him, he has to write how much the slave is worth, and that's why you need the document. That's why you need the apotropos. Rashi says that here also, mukmin apotropos, that you need it because he's going to have to write the shtar al chatzi damav for half of the cost. Okay, we'll stop there.